Welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our third and final A-team game of today. We have the Prague Falcons versus the KIS Cossacks here on Field 2.
That's right, the much-anticipated game between the two favored teams by the commentators, Cossacks and Falcons, right? The kickoff just happened recently. Now there's a throw-in, and possession seems to be equal for now. What do you predict? What do you predict, bro? Bo, who do you think is gonna come out to, take the lead?
Well, I think in football one of the most important factors is momentum. If you score a goal, you get that momentum, and there's also such a thing as tournament momentum. So the Cossacks, I think, they're on the other end of that tournament momentum as they've lost 2 games in a row, whereas the Prague Falcons have won 2 in a row. So all the momentum is heading toward for the Prague Falcons to take this victory. However, sport is not a game won on paper, and the Cossacks have just as much as a chance to win this game as the Falcons do. Whether they will or whether they won't depends on the next 30 minutes ahead of us.
Yes, and I think all 3 of us are hoping that the Cossacks do come out of this game victorious. However, right now it could be either one. It could be the Falcons, it could be the Cossacks. I guess we just have to wait and see and watch this spectacular game.
Though this game is somewhat a game changer in the tournament in a grander scheme, because the Cossacks on the field have lost both of their first games, and if they lose this game, does that mean they're out? It does not mean they're out, but it does certainly put them a step lower than the rest of the teams. And if the Falcons win, then that will be their 3rd win in a row, and that will give them a great advantage in tomorrow's games.
And I don't know if you two would agree with me, but I think losing or winning this game for the Cossacks, losing this game would be losing a 3rd one in a row, and that could really, hit hard on these girls and that could reflect on their performance tomorrow.
Yeah, of course, but right now the Cossacks have a free kick. They've started off the game quite positively. Prague, of course, is going to naturally put a lot of pressure on that Cossacks defense, who have suffered already a lot this tournament. But they're here to play. They want to get their first victory of this tournament, and they have just as much as a chance as the Falcons do. So far, the Cossacks have played very well. Now there's a lot of commotion up in the second game, and it looks like Bucharest have scored in the second game. Now, I don't know if we have reminded you yet, but in the second game, it's Bucharest versus the Budapest Blazers. Very similar names, oftentimes very confused. I often confuse both of them. But right now, Bucharest is winning this game 1-0. Yes, the Vampires.
Right. The Budapest and Bucharest teams, those are their A teams, and both of them are very strong indeed. The Budapest Blazers are not about to back down because of their 1-0 following. Back to the field you guys are watching. It's a very high pressure field. The ball is being kicked back and forth. Very, very nice footwork by both the Falcons and the Cossacks. And right now it looks like the Falcons were advancing on the field, and the KIS Cossacks take it back. And we're seeing a lot of this back and forth movement between the two very powerful teams.
Yes, and I think just one of the Cossacks have defended very well, but oftentimes they're young and they make mistakes, including defensive lapses. So They've made a lot of defensive lapses in the game against Moscow, and what's really important is they have their full concentration today against the Prague, so that they do not make as many mistakes and they do not concede as many goals. So far, it is a 0-0. It is a very close game.
And I think we all do hope that this game continues to be close and that it favors our KIS Cossacks at some point. However, I mean, right now, I would say it is pretty equal with the possession, with Prague now, player from Prague in control of the ball, and now KIS has it.
And now one of the biggest rules and components of this tournament is the offside rule. There is no actual offside in 7-a-side. So I just noticed in that play right there, number 1 from Prague ran towards the goal with no, not even thinking about where the defensive line was. So no offside can actually have make a very big difference in this tournament.
And that number 1 from Prague, we've interviewed this morning. She's the captain of the team. She's in 8th grade. And, oh, the Falcons shot on the goal, put it in the net. In the bottom right corner, they're cheering. They're hugging each other. There's great enthusiasm on the field. But we hope the Cossacks are not let down. And back to what I was talking about number 1, an 8th grader, 3 years of experience. She's the captain of the team. As you can see, she has definitely built up a reputation and a physique for football. There's a bit of tackling.
A little bit of a struggle there with a Falcon and Cossack player. I think it's really important for these girls, for the Cossacks, not to feel defeated. Yeah, they have got to continue trying, and I think right now is really when we would need the help of number 2 and number 15.
I think it's clear, if you've been a part of our audience for most of the day, that we are very biased towards 2 individual players who have been really doing KIS proud on the soccer pitch. Prague now attacking the KIS goal, and there's just the thing is that the Falcons, they are such a strong sports school. They practice 5 times a week. You know, they have a larger selection of kids to pick from, whereas one of the parts of being a Cossack is you have to learn to play with who came out, and it doesn't necessarily mean that we're always just going to be laughable, and we're not going to be good enough, but it does mean that we are limited, but it does not mean we can't win. So far, Prague's winning 1-0 in this tournament, and now they have possession of the ball right in front of the goal. A dangerous position and a good block from the KIS defender.
I mean, I agree with Bo. I think we've got to remember that KIS is one of the smallest schools in the Red CISA division, if that's correct. And it is the smallest school, right? And so we really, I mean, it's all about the coaching and the team chemistry here.
And this may sound like we're saying, oh, this is our excuse for not winning. No, of course it's not. We have actually been very competitive in multiple sports, but it's just the realization that if you have more resources, if you have more students to pick from, you have better odds of winning. So far, the Prague Falcons winning 1-0. In the other game, the Bucharest Vampires are winning 1-0 as well. So they're mirror images of each other. The Cossacks, though, fighting well, and I think they got a chance. I'm not saying they're gonna win anything, but they're definitely in it, have a shot.
Looks like danger for the Cossacks. The ball has been on their defending half of the field for the past, 5 minutes? The Falcons are doing a great job of keeping possession, keeping the ball upfield, taking shots on that goal, and just taking those chances. Spreading out, as you can see, number 1 trying to get the interception. She gets it. And they've got a dangerously close shot And it goes in, of course. Very, very good play by the Falcons.
And one of the things I notice about this Prague team is when they score a goal, they all come together and they celebrate that goal together, which is what football is about. When you succeed as a team, and when you suffer defeat, you suffer defeat as a team. And they really show that team aspect to their game.
And I think all of these teams today have shown some great sportsmanship at these games, and I think we've seen some great players overall, no matter how many games they've lost or won.
The Falcons, in fact, have one of the more complicated and I don't know how to put it, but they've got an interesting cheer that we filmed this morning. Can we throw to that?
Now I believe that our cheer is on our website. I think maybe during halftime or something we will maybe bring up that certain video that we had, but. Yes, I think what is important is, as I mentioned earlier, is that when you win as a team, and when you suffer defeat, you suffer defeat as a team. And I'd really like to see that from the Kozak girls today, because they've suffered. They haven't played their best game, and they've lost a lot so far. But what's important is they keep the camaraderie, and that they look to come back and perhaps get back into this game with a goal.
And as you can see, we have more Kozaks over there supporting their fellow teammates, and I think the amount of support we have here from all of the teams toward each other is really, really great. Spectacular.
It's a long day, and these players have been active the whole time, so it's quite interesting that, you know, despite their perhaps fatigue and hunger, they sit nevertheless and cheer on their teammates instead of going and eating like we have.
Yeah, we went just before this game. We went for a quality lunch at the Dynamo cafeteria. We had some borscht, some chicken, some rice. It was great. It was a great meal. Once again, thank you to the facilities here at the Dynamo team. Corner there from Prague, brilliant ball into the middle. No one got their head to that. And now the Kozaks are looking, another brilliant ball. Unfortunate with the touch there. And the Kozaks, you have to clear that. You have to get rid of the ball. And again, Prague just putting so much pressure on the Kozaks. Get the ball out. And now it's finally cleared by the Kozaks. A big long ball forward.
I mean, as we can see, the Kozak defense is really struggling to keep away the Falcons, and the majority of the game has so far been on our side.
That's right. We get the front row seats for all of the Falcons' spectacular goals, and that's what I like about the Dynamo practice stadium. This hub up here with a wonderful view of both fields, and the Falcon goalie ricochets the ball, keeps it away from the Kozak attackers, and the Falcons advance, bring it up the sideline, cross it to the middle. No. Goes down to midfield. They kick it to their defense. And the Kozaks kick it out of bounds.
And I think some part of it is one of the most somewhat frustrating things is that I'm looking at this Kozak A team, and they've got the strength, they've got the size needed to not concede goals, but going forward they lack a bit of creativity when they need to create goals. And I think one of the most the toughest things for me to see is that B team has that creativity on their team. They've scored a lot of goals so far this tournament, and I would. That balance, you need a balance between good defense, good size, good physicality, but you also need the ability to create, which... I
think it's also about their communication. I think the B team in general, the way I mean, I obviously can't tell what they are saying to each other over there on the field, but I think they are communicating well, and I think our A team... I think if they had a bit more of that, they would be able to do better.
And there goes the halftime whistle for the game. We're now gonna have our usual halftime show. Here we are. So the story of the first half: the Falcons lead 2-0, of course. The Cossacks, they battled hard, they fought hard, but going into the second half, tactically wise, what do the Cossacks have to improve on?
I think once again, the defense. I mean, it's hard because Falcons are a strong team, so it's hard to keep them away, and the defense is struggling. So I think if the defense communicates more and all together, if they bring it all together more, and if they just continue not to get defeated.
No, that's right. That's right. The Falcons do have the advantage that more numbers, more players, more subs, more energy, right? So you can swap out the tired ones and put in fresh ones. And Cossacks, a smaller team, less people, but they need to really put everything they've got on the field because this is their last game today, and so they should really give it their best and see what they can make out of it. I think they have a chance at tying it up.
What I would really like to see from our Cossack girls here is that they're not too hard on themselves. You know, it is again the first day, and the first day is important. You need to get victories, you need to get confidence, but at the end of the day, the second day is what is most important. So I would like to see the girls go out, perform a lot better in this second half, and it's not necessarily even about winning the game. It's about proving that you can perform at the level that the Falcons or other teams have performed at, so that when you come into the second day, you have a little more confidence about the way you play, and hopefully you can come and do better than you did on the first day.
And just keeping the spirit, I think, still being motivated despite suffering some defeats throughout the day. I think that's what our Cossack girls need to do. To just keep going no matter what, and just keep the sportsmanship and the team spirit.
And now, although you can't see it on the camera, unfortunately, you have to look at us three. The Prague has performed their pre-game, I would say, ritual or pre-game hype up chant, and it is a sight to be seen. And I hope next time, at least tomorrow, hopefully we can get some video on that because it's brilliant. Or you can check out Max Moody's very own documentary about their pre-game hypes. But now to the second half. And the ref blows the whistle for the second half. The Falcons started off, they kick it off, back to their defense. Now I'd like, if I'm not, from a non-impartial point of view, I would hope the Falcons, they would play with a little more possession football, keep it around, knock it around the back, so that I think that's how one way they can look to improve their game is to pass more, keep possession a lot longer. I think if the Cossacks want to win, then Prague should do less of that.
So, guys, what are your predictions for this second half of the game? I mean, seeing what we saw so far, what are we expecting from the Falcons, from the Cossack girls?
Now, here I predicted that the Falcons would kind of tone it down a little on the offensive side and just stick back to the defense and secure that win. But on the contrary, they're keeping it in the offensive half and keeping the pressure on the Cossacks, which is an interesting tactic and may prove to be quite tactical and successful. We'll see.
And so far, Prague has come out in the second half with even more fire to score goals. Another good save from the Cossack keeper. She's put in quite a performance so far in the second half alone to prove herself here today. But again, Prague just back at it again, looking to score more goals. And I think it's just a difference in quality. And again, there they go. Another goal. 3-0 to the Falcons. And again, the team, so even the goalkeeper runs up to celebrate the goal. And right about the time she gets there, they finish the celebration. That is quite unlucky.
I mean, we really can't say anything more about the power and the strength that the Falcons have. They are truly a great team.
A great team indeed. Emphasis on that word team. They work together very well. They have a wonderful chemistry. They use their passes, and they bring it up to the field like they just have and nearly scored. And they keep it up there. Right here, they pass to the middle, and she may shoot. Someone's there to get the ball back. This team, you can't single out one or two players like we can for other teams like the KISB team. This team certainly is, the Falcons are a team of cooperating forces.
And as we saw just a few seconds ago, they were really going at it with the offense on the Cossacks. And the Cossacks are struggling to keep them away.
The Cossacks there with a big chance to nearly score. Number 16 broke through on goal. She's quite quick, number 16, and I think one chance the Cossacks have to get a goal in this half is off the counterattack with her pace. Prague goalkeeper now with the ball rolls it out to one of their defenders. And in the other game, the second half has just begun between the Bucharest Vampires and the Budapest Blazers. The Bucharest Vampires still lead that game 1-0. Prague now again dominating, another shot and another save by the Cossack keeper. She really has put on a good second half performance here, and they're going to need it with the amount of chances Prague have created. Now Cossack goal kick, and really it's looking tough for our girls out there today.
Look at that. I mean, Prague is really shooting. They are making their shots. They are out there, they are on the offense, and they are going against the Cossacks full on.
Now, if any of you, maybe you're not aware of this, but the Cossack-Falcon rivalry has translated over various sports. You know, in the high school boys varsity soccer, there's quite a rivalry between the two teams, the Cossacks and the Falcons, and there's been quite a lot of big huge games played between the two of them, and I was hoping a little bit of that would translate over to today's game, but so far it's been a lot of Falcons dominance.
So here's a fun fact about the local team from Kiev International School. Their mascot is the Cossack, as you must have heard us say repetitively. And these people were a group of predominantly Eastern Slavic-speaking people who became known as members of democratic self-governing semi-military communities, predominantly located in southern Russia and in southeastern Ukraine. And back to the game, the Falcons are keeping it up with their offense.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is why this man is a candidate for Harvard. He can pull facts out of his pocket just like that, and this is why I wanted him in the booth next to me today, because he's a genius. There's no simpler way of putting it.
Thank you very much, Bo. And I must say, you have your own talents. As a commentator, I must say, you're a very good commentator. You never let the stream go silent.
Thank you very much, and you're not so bad yourself. Steph?
I think we have a little brewing bromance over here. So let's get back to the game. Once again, Prague Falcons are over there just going against the Cossacks and on the offense, shooting their shots.
It's become a little bit of her own catchphrase there, shooting your shot. She's fallen a bit in love with that one. But yeah, there's no other way of putting it. The Falcons have been dominating this second half, and I wouldn't be surprised if they got maybe a few other goals.
That's right, and Steph, one of our commentators here that you hear with her catchphrase, shooting the shots, one of the best things I've ever heard her say is that what's most important is a defense. or something like that, and that a strong defense is a strong offense. And this is displayed magnificently by the Falcons, which is probably why they're such a successful team today. Isn't that right, Steph?
They are the full package. Their offense is strong, and so is their defense. And that makes them,
And I think even if you compare to real football in today's played professionally by the male and females, you can see that teams they defend every single player on that pitch defends. You watch football played at today's level. Every single person is defending when they don't have the ball, and when they have the ball, every single person moves forward, moves without the ball. So it is great to see our young middle school girls at this tournament play with a similar technique. And unfortunately, my bias is showing right now, but the Falcons have scored again, and I really can't force myself to get too excited. It's maybe the fourth goal of this game. They lead the Cossacks 4-0, and it's been a battering. They've showed their dominance, and there's no other way of putting it.
it has been very unfortunate for our Cossack girls right now, for the A team. However, we must remember that the Falcons have gone undefeated, I believe, today. And they are just a strong team overall. And I think that must not influence our team's, motivation. I think, today, as we have said earlier, today, of course, the wins do matter, but it is really about tomorrow and tomorrow's first games that will make it count.
Absolutely right there, Steph. Tomorrow is what matters the most. And in the post-game interview, which I hope to do, I'll make sure to tell them that, pass that message along. I think that will help them a lot, Steph. So thanks for that.
And what I'm also wondering is whether or not in a CISA tournament like this one is whether or not you can switch players between B teams and A teams. Because if that is possible, I would very much like to give this A team a few of our star B team players, because they really, I think they have everything. They have the size, the skill, but they lack the creative edge that can get them goals to match a team like Prague.
Yes, I think that is correct. And I mean, our bet makers would also be happy to see number 2 and number 15 out here again, scoring their goals.
And also, we have an update from the outside fields. There's one game going on in the outside fields, and that is between Moscow and Warsaw. So if any Moscow and Warsaw parents are on this stream, pay attention. The Moscow Penguins are winning that game 1-0 against the Warsaw Warriors, and it is a big game.
All right, and right now, we are going to have our very own director of the Kiev International School out here live on the air. All right, Mr. Woodruff, how are you feeling?
Yeah, great, thanks. Wow, what a surprise. Thanks for that. Appreciate that.
How have you been liking this tournament so far?
Well, I just got here, but it looks to be going well. Looks like everyone's having a good time. And you are all doing a fantastic job live streaming. So,
Thank you. And how are you feeling about our teams today?
I'm very optimistic. But at the end of the day, as long as everybody's having fun, and it's a ball that you kick around, right? I mean, what else could you ask for?
And also, we've pointed out numerous times on the live stream how beautiful the facilities are here. Would you like to say a special thank you to the Dynamo team that has let us use these facilities?
Yes, special thank you to Dynamo. This is not the first year that they've let us host this tournament here, and it is phenomenal. They're so helpful. The grounds are amazing, and the fields are exceptional. So we do appreciate them helping us out and allowing us to be here.
All right.
Also, I just want to say thank you to IT and maintenance for everything they're doing to make this possible, because it's not a small job. So.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Woodruff. We hope you enjoy the rest of the game, and go Cossacks!
Go Cossacks!
Woo!
And back to the game. The Falcons lead our Cossacks team 4-0. It has been quite a dominant game from our Prague Falcons, but our Cossacks have fought hard, and you know, I think what will make these girls' day is if they can get a goal against a dominant team like Prague. You know, I don't think Prague has conceded a goal all tournament long, so if our Cossacks can get a goal against them, I think that is something worth remembering.
That would certainly be a remarkable feat. And it looks like the Cossacks are just keep pushing, just keep pushing. They will not let themselves get down by the Falcons, despite the Falcons' tremendous skill and experience. The Cossacks continue to push forward.
And now a corner for Prague here. They're really putting the pressure on our Cossacks team. The ball's delivered in, and just over the head of one of the Prague's players. And now the Cossacks look to hit on the counterattack. There is a chance if they reach the ball, and there they go. Number 11 for the Cossack has the ball on the touch. She touches it out of bounds. Unfortunately, the Cossacks now, they're putting as many people forward as possible, looking to get that first goal. And that's just, there's no other way to go about it. You have to score goals if you want to get back in this game. Prague now really back to their dominant form, and I would say I've really been impressed with the team. And I said on the bus ride over here, I said you gotta watch out for the Falcons, because no matter what they're gonna perform, they're gonna put in their best effort, and most of the time they dominate teams like we're seeing today.
I, however, have my bets on Warsaw. I think they are going to come out tomorrow, and they are going to, show themselves as a very strong team.
Unfortunately, Warsaw is losing at the moment to the Moscow Penguins on the other field, on Field 3. So this is where we really see the differences between great bettors and good bettors.
Indeed, and a quick reminder to our viewers that the Moscow Penguins also completely defeated the KIS team 4-5-0. Such a big number, I cannot even remember. So, if I were you guys, I would lay my wallet on the Moscow Penguins.
Now Prague has gone and they've scored their 5th goal of the tournament, and our Cossacks, it's been a tough day. There's no putting it past that. It's been a tough day. The heads are going down. It's really hard in a situation like this to keep on going. There's not much to play for. There's perhaps less than 10 minutes left in this game, and there's not much you can do in those 10 minutes. But what you can do is you can make your school proud, you can make yourself proud, and you can give yourself a bit more confidence going into day 2. But it's up to them, it's up to the players on the pitch, and no matter how many times in the booth we say what they could do to be better, what really matters is whether or not they go on the pitch and do it.
That's absolutely right. Just the fact that they came here, showed up, completely ready, geared up with the charisma and the positivity that they brought to this field, their effort they put into it. That's what makes us Cossacks proud of our team, no matter what the outcome comes. The director came, the whole media team came, and it's such an honor to film this amazing football.
And also, I think it's not now we have to broaden our perspective. As the game finishes, the ref blows the final whistle. We have to be proud of every single team that have come here. No team has come here without the passion to win. They've all been fighting hard. They've been playing their best. And at the end of the day, if you're a better football player than me, you're going to beat me in a game. But if I try harder than you and you try less harder than me, I have a chance. But if we try our hardest and if we all give our best like every single team has done today, then the better footballers are going to win. And that is evidence today as Prague have been in our Cossacks team.
Yes, and I think the results of today so far, as we have said multiple times before, they do not determine the final results, and they do not determine the results of tomorrow. So I think the main thing for all of the teams today, and especially for the teams that maybe have not won many games or any games today, I think the most important thing is not to get discouraged and to continue, going with the motivation and, the spirit.
And for us today, this is our last live stream of day 1, but we will be back tomorrow You can put it on your schedule. You can mark it in your reminders. We're going to be here tomorrow commentating on day 2 of KIS A. But summary of day 1.
Our first game. Jeez, that was a while ago. Let's see. The first. Are we just talking about the Kozak games or all the games?
I think we can just say that today has been a very eventful day for all the teams. You know, even though we do not have the exact numbers right now, as I have said, the numbers perhaps do not define the numbers perhaps do not define the final result. And as my friend Yusuf has just mentioned, there are more games today, so.
But they will not be commentated by such a brilliant crew of commentators. So for me personally, I would like to say thank you to Max and thank you to Steph for commentating besides me. To our viewers, I want to say thank you to you for tuning in. And from that point on, for me, it's goodbye.
So goodbye from me also, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Yeah, see you, and it's a goodbye from me too.
Oh, I should have said follow me on Instagram.